Today on this channel, I'm going to talk to you about some basketball plays for undersized basketball teams. This question was asked by Kwabena Robinson, and here it is. So let's get down to the clipboard and let's check these out. But first, on this channel, I'll show you basketball plays, drills, and skills. So if you like that stuff, hit that like button and subscribe. Let's get down to the clipboard and let's check out these basketball plays. So in this first basketball play, I'm going to try and focus on getting a three-point shot in this area or possibly a layup over here. And how we're going to do this is if we're going to be, let's say we're going up against a man-to-man defense. We're going to be playing the 4 out. We're going to have player 5 setting a back screen for player 2. And at the same time, we're going to have player 4 setting a screen for player 3. If his player is playing proper help defense, he'll be down here. If he's not, then he'll be up here, one or the other. And we're going to have player 3. He's going to be popping up to where player 4 was. And player 2 is going to be using player 5 as a back screen. And player 1 can either pass to player 2 or to player 3. Now, if neither of those options are open, what's going to happen now is player 2 will clear out to the other side. We're going to have player 4 now clear out as well. Let's say that wasn't open. And we're now going to have player 5 setting a screen for player 1. Now we have cleared out this whole side where now player 1 can either take the three-point shot, he can drive towards the rim, or he can wait for player 5 to roll towards the rim. Let's say they hedge too far, and now player 5 may be open for that layup. If player 2 came down for help defense, he'd be able to kick it up to player 2 for the three-point shot. Now this next play is another one against a man-to-man defense. We're going to have player 5 pop out towards the three-point line. And what we're going to have now is player 3 and player 4 setting up a staggered screen for player 1. Player 1 is going to use that screen. Coming off of those screens, he could take that shot. If any one of these two players hedges, that's the player who's going to roll towards the basket. So let's say, for example, player 4 hedged. We're going to have player 4 rolling towards the basket. He could be open. Or if we had player 3 red hedging, then we'll have now player 3 cutting towards the rim. This could be a lob pass into player 3. Or at that time, we could have player 4 sagging down to guard player 3. And now we could have player 1 trying to cut through, and we could still have player 1 open for that shot. Or what could happen is player 2, he could come, because now player 3 is trying to come back down to now protect his man, or he's going to be lost. He doesn't know what the heck he's doing. We could either have player 2 popping up towards the three-point line, or he could set a screen. If player 5 is a good shooter, he could set a screen for player 5. We could now reverse that ball. He could take that shot, and if he's covered, then we could have player 2 setting a screen for player 3. Player 3 is then going to pop out, and player 5 could pass him the ball for the three-point shot. Now, this play is more of an advanced play. There's lots of different variables, so this would be more of like a grade 12 play or a very advanced team type of play. Now, let's say you're an undersized team. You're going up against a 2-3 zone because let's say the other team is a lot slower than you. They want to kind of sit back in a 2-3 and wait for you to come towards them, towards the basket. So they're probably going to be trapping up top. We're going to be having players 3 and 4 probably playing a bit higher. And we're going to have player 5 guarding pretty much, the whole key. Now, the idea behind this next play is to try and get your players open as best as possible. And how we're going to do that is we're going to have player 2 setting a screen for player 1. This could also be ran on this side as well, but we're having a screen on this left side. Player 1 is going to use that screen. That's going to bring player 4 red out to guard him. At the same time, we're going to have player 4 setting a screen on player 5, who is that middle man. And we're going to have player 5 cutting out either towards the block or somewhere in this mid-range area, where player 1 is going to pass him the ball for either a layup or a floater or just a set shot from there. This is a quick hitter that you can run that is very effective because now you have pulled the defense up away from the baseline, which now leaves the baseline wide open for moves like this. Now, for some reason, a lot of high school teams in the States, at least from what I have been getting told in the comment section, is that a lot of teams are playing a 1-3-1 zone defense. So this is going to be a play that you can run against that zone. This is actually a very effective play, and I'm going to show it to you right now after the phone. This is like the 4th video this year with a phone call. Anyways, so what we're going to have is player 1 passing over to player 2. Player 2 red will then be popping out on player 2 blue. We're going to have probably player 1 relocating over to him. And what we're going to have now is a defense that's set up more like this. Now at this time, what we're going to have is player 5 setting a screen on player 5 red, and we're going to have player 4 running baseline. So out of this double team, we're going to have player 4 who is wide open, and this is where it gets really good. So player 4 gets that ball. He could take that shot. However, we're going to be having the defense rotating down, trying to protect that shot. Meanwhile, we could have player 3 cutting back door, where now player 4 could take that shot, but if he gets covered quickly, this could be a very easy bounce pass over to player 3 for an easy layup. Now I'm going to show you one last play that I really like to run against any kind of defense. Because when I was, this was about maybe 6 or 7 years ago, I was coaching a grade 9 team and we were very small. We had one tall guy, and so I ran the triangle. Now you're probably thinking, oh my god, you're running a triangle. How old was this team? This team was actually a grade 9 team. And we're going to have player 1 pass over to player 2, and we're going to have now, that's going to bring player 4 up. Player 2 is going to be popping over. This is against the 2-3 zone. I'll show you the same play against a man-to-man defense, and that's going to rotate the defense over just like so. Player 1 is then going to cut down towards this low corner, and he could be open right away for a 3-point shot. Now, if that's not your key option, that'll rotate player 4 down. We're still sort of in single coverage. What I really like to do was have player 3, he used to come down and set a screen on player 3 red, and then, or have a screen on player 1 red, depending on, you could run this a few different ways against a 2-3, or we could then have, it doesn't matter, it's up to you. Anyways, we'll have player 4 cut towards the high post, and that could be a quick shot. So there's a couple of different options there. Now I'll show you a triangle play that we used to run against a man-to-man defense. It's very similar. So against a man-to-man defense, this is a play that I really like to run. This was one of my favorites. So player 1 passes to player 2, and right away we could have player 5 setting a back screen on player 1, and he would just cut towards the rim. That's one option, but player 1 would go down to this low corner, and then what we would have is player 3 setting a screen on player 4, and player 4 would then roll out, and this could be an open 3-point shot for player 4. Or we could now reverse the ball. So if he gets that ball and he's covered quickly, what we could now have is player 5 setting a screen for player 1, player 3 coming down to set the staggered screen. Player 1 is going to use the baseline and pop out somewhere in this area, where player 4 is just going to pass him the ball for the mid-range or the 3-point shot. Now, these are all really great plays to run on undersized basketball teams. I hope that you have enjoyed. I will see you guys again tomorrow, actually later on today, for another daily basketball video. I post 2 now.